Have you ever heard a question that sounded innocent, but deep inside something told you it was wrong? A gentle tone, a harmless smile. And yet, the moment you answered, you realized you had just stepped into a trap you could never win. This is the art of the liar. They don't just lie with words, they lie with questions. And if you can't see through the disguise, you'll end up doubting yourself, apologizing for things you never did, and slowly fighting against yourself instead of them. The Stoics knew this danger well. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they all warned us. A liar rarely attacks head-on. They plant tiny seeds of doubt and then wait for you to destroy yourself. 2,000 years later, the tactic hasn't changed. It's only become more subtle. In today's lesson from Stoic Inspire, we'll expose the 5 most dangerous questions liars use to manipulate and control you. More importantly, I'll show you how to respond with calm, clarity, and unshakable presence, just as the Stoics would. By the end, you'll have the tools to make sure you're never anyone's pawn again. So stay with me until the end, and if you find value here, subscribe to Stoic Inspire, not for me, but for yourself, so you never miss the wisdom that sharpens your mind and strengthens your spirit. Question 1. Why are you being so sensitive? At first, this question sounds harmless, almost like concern. But don't be fooled. This is the very first bullet fired by the gaslighter. Hidden inside is not curiosity, but accusation. What they're really saying is, you're weak. You're imagining things. The problem isn't me, it's you. Think back. Have you ever been in a relationship where, the moment you pointed out something wrong, you were brushed aside with a laugh? Oh, you're just too sensitive. Or maybe at work, you questioned the ethics of a decision, only to hear, don't overreact, it's just business. That's not care, that's a weapon. What they want is to take your sensitivity, your radar for danger, and twist it into a weakness. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Manipulators exploit this truth. They plant doubt in your imagination until you start believing you're the problem. But here's the reality. Sensitivity is not weakness. Sensitivity is awareness. A financial analyst who notices small inconsistencies in the books, mocked as paranoid, later exposes $1 million fraud. A wife who senses subtle changes in her husband's behavior, dismissed as dramatic, later uncovers betrayal. Awareness saves. So how would a Stoic respond? Not with anger, not with defense. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. For it is truth that I seek, not victory." A person who values you will never shame your awareness. Only those hiding something fear your perception. So the next time someone sneers, "Why are you being so sensitive?" Pause, breathe, and calmly reply, "I'm not being sensitive. I'm being observant." Does that make you uncomfortable? One sentence, and you'll watch the mask slip. Question 2. You trust me, right? It sounds soft, almost innocent. But beneath the surface, this is not a question, it's a trap. Because anyone who demands trust instead of earning it has already exposed their weakness. A trustworthy person doesn't need to beg for your faith. Their actions, their consistency, their honesty speak for them. Day after day, trust builds like stone upon stone. But when someone looks you in the eye and presses, "You trust me, right?" what they're really saying is, "Stop thinking, stop questioning, just hand me the keys to your mind." Epictetus warned us, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Liars know this truth well. That's why they ask this question, to shut down your curiosity, to make you feel guilty for being cautious, to convince you that asking for proof makes you disloyal. But remember this, caution is not betrayal, caution is wisdom. Think about the business partner who refuses to show the numbers but whispers, trust me?" Or the lover who hides their phone yet repeats, "Don't you trust me?" They aren't proving trustworthiness. They're demanding blind faith. And blind faith is the breeding ground for betrayal. So how would a Stoic respond? With calm detachment. Not panic, not defensiveness, but clarity. This is apatheia, freedom from being controlled by emotion. The next time someone asks, "You trust me, right?" Pause, breathe, and reply, "Trust is earned through consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment?" That one line flips the frame. A liar will stumble, change the subject, or lash out. But a person of integrity won't be offended. They'll simply keep showing you day after day that they are worthy of trust. Remember, trust is not a gift handed out under pressure. It is a fortress, built stone by stone through truth and consistency. And the Stoic never surrenders that fortress too quickly. Question 3. Are you accusing me of something? This question is clever. On the surface it looks innocent, but in reality it's a shield. A way to flip the frame and put you on trial. Here's how it works. You raise a concern. You notice something doesn't add up. You ask a simple question. Instead of answers, you're hit with, "Wait, are you accusing me of something now?" Suddenly, you're no longer the observer, you're the villain. The spotlight is no longer on their behavior, it's burning down on you. This tactic forces you into defense mode. You rush to explain yourself, backpedaling with lines like, No, that's not what I meant." And in that moment, you've surrendered your power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." But silence in Stoicism is not weakness. It's refusing to play the game on someone else's terms. Think about a courtroom. If the guilty can make the judge apologize, the trial collapses. That's exactly what this question is designed to do. Flip guilt into your hands. A boss confronted about missing funds snaps, "Are you accusing me of stealing?" A partner questioned about secrecy sneers, "Are you accusing me of cheating?" In both cases, the goal is the same, to derail your pursuit of truth. So how does a Stoic respond? With stillness, with composure. The next time you hear, "Are you accusing me of something?" don't rush to fill the silence. Hold your ground. Maintain eye contact. Breathe. Wait a few seconds. Then calmly say, "Should I be?" 3 words, and the mask cracks. Liars expect panic. They never expect power. The Stoic knows that truth does not panic, and wisdom never apologizes for observation. Remember this. The one who asks, "Are you accusing me?" often reveals more than they intend. Question 4. Why can't you just let it go? This is one of the liar's most dangerous weapons. At first it sounds like peace, like they just want harmony, no more conflict, no more drama. But if you listen carefully, you'll hear the truth. This is not a call for peace. It's a command for silence. When someone says, "Why can't you just let it go?" they're not asking you to forgive, they're asking you to forget, and that's not the same thing. Forgiveness is noble, forgetting is dangerous, because what you ignore once, you'll end up tolerating forever. Epictetus taught, "Suffering arises not from the events themselves, but from our judgment about them." Manipulators twist this teaching. They want you to believe that your pain comes not from their actions, but from your refusal to move on. They make their wrongdoing seem like your weakness, and slowly you start doubting whether you even have the right to speak. But here's the truth. Letting go is not Stoicism when it comes at the cost of truth. Stoicism teaches us to release anger, not awareness, to drop the poison of bitterness, not the memory of betrayal. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Letting go of rage is strength, but letting go of reality is surrender. So how should a Stoic reply? Calmly, without heat, without hostility. The next time someone pushes, "Why can't you just let it go?" breathe, pause, and answer, Because the lesson is still here. And lessons aren't meant to be ignored. That answer does something powerful. It ends the debate without escalating it. It shows you're not clinging to pain, you're clinging to wisdom. And wisdom is what protects you from walking into the same fire twice. Remember this: only those who fear accountability demand silence. The Stoic doesn't seek revenge, but neither do they close their eyes. They carry the lesson forward, not the bitterness, not the rage, but the clarity. And that clarity is what liars fear most. Question 5. If you really loved me, you would. This is not love speaking. This is manipulation dressed as love. A sentence designed to twist your heart into chains. On the surface, it sounds like vulnerability, a plea, a request, a sign of need. But underneath, it's a contract, one that demands your obedience in exchange for approval. Think about it. Real love never comes with conditions that compromise your integrity. Love built on demands is not love. It's control. When someone says, "If you really loved me, you would," what they're truly saying is, prove your devotion by betraying yourself. Seneca warned us, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. In relationships, those trials come when you're asked to sacrifice your values. The manipulator frames your resistance as coldness, your independence as selfishness, your boundaries as proof you don't care. Slowly, love is no longer a bond of trust. It becomes a performance you must constantly pass. But Stoic love is different. It is rooted in freedom, not fear. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Notice, he never said love is proven by compliance. He said it's proven by presence, by gratitude, by being. So how does a Stoic respond to this trap? With unshakable calm. When faced with, "If you loved me, you would," breathe and reply, "If you loved me, you wouldn't need to make me prove it." That sentence changes everything. Because true love doesn't ask for proof through sacrifice. True love proves itself through freedom, respect, and choice. The Stoic knows, love without freedom is not love. It's a prison, and no wise man ever walks willingly into chains. So, there you have it. 5 questions that seem innocent on the surface, but in reality are weapons, sharpened and disguised by liars to trap you. Now you've seen behind the mask. You know how to pause, breathe, and respond with the calm strength of the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." And that's the heart of this lesson. You don't need to fight with liars. You don't need to match their noise. You only need to stand in truth, and their lies collapse on their own. If this message gave you clarity, remember, this is only the beginning. At Stoic Inspire, we uncover the timeless wisdom that protects you from deception, builds unshakable confidence, and gives you the presence of a man no one can manipulate. So stay with us, subscribe, share this with someone who needs it, and let's keep walking the Stoic path together. Not just to survive the lies of others, but to rise above them, stronger, calmer, and freer than ever before. Because here at Stoic Inspire, we don't just talk philosophy, we live it.